So if you've been following somewhat closely to any of PlayStation's exclusives, you kind of get the feeling that Days Gone has kind of been on the back end of the excitement for all these titles. It's always been the title that people compare to every other game in the genre, adding nothing to the table and ultimately just looking plain and generic and like an open world Ubisoft game. And yeah, to no surprise, Days Gone just dropped this week and the reviews are mixed to say the least. The game has like a 72 on Metacritic and ultimately, yeah, gamers are very divided. I've seen people say they like this game, I've seen people say they don't like this game. Ultimately, reviews are only glorified opinions at the end of the day, and yeah, hopefully the reviewer would obviously have some good background and obviously would be able to judge the game, you know, objectively and accurately, but yeah, again, they're only opinions at the end of the day, and people are gonna find enjoyment with different things. So yeah, I played a couple hours of Days Gone, and I want to say that I actually like it a lot more than what people are saying and giving it a fair shake online. I think the game is pretty much what I said it was gonna be. It's a very generic game, yes, but it is very fun, and I think it's one of the top games in its genre, if I'm being completely honest, and obviously it's gonna have the production values to show for that. Of course, being a AAA exclusive coming from Sony, so Days Gone, is it worth it? Here are my first impressions about 4 or 5 hours into the game so far. So Days Gone picks up pretty slowly. I'm not gonna lie, the first hour of this game is quite a drag. Just ultimately, I feel like Days Gone is the best when you're kind of playing it like an open world game and you have freedom and you don't have a lot of the restrictions that you do when you play this game. I think the first thing that stand out to me when I was playing this game was literally right before I even got to play the game myself. This game very much feels like a PS3 game. There's a lot of things that just remind me of the PS3 era, a lot of cut to blacks. If ultimately I had to list any frustration I have with Days Gone, it's the fact that it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of spoiled in a way based on all the games we've had this generation where it feels all seamless. Yeah, Days Gone is just not seamless a lot of the times when you're playing in story, at least with missions, and there's a lot of cut to blacks on very basic parts that I feel like they could have easily gotten around it. Feels very much like a PS3 or last generation game. Not to mention the fact that it has a spinning object. I was kind of making a meme about that earlier. Just yeah, everything about this screams last generation. Of course, the graphics aside, this game looks really beautiful. I honestly want to say it's, it's not up there with God of War and stuff in terms of facial models and stuff, but it's up there. It's up there, definitely. Don't discount Days Gone. The weather system is probably the most beautiful system I've seen in any game or anything like that. This game looks gorgeous, man. It looks gorgeous. Gameplay was probably the biggest one that I was kind of skeptical on because, yeah, obviously Sony Bend haven't made it a console game in ages. Days Gone is their first title coming off of the Vita, which was obviously Golden Abyss. And Days Gone, I want to say that the gunplay feels very clunky in a way. I feel like a lot of my shots don't hit when I want them to hit. There's a skill point that you earn quite early on in the game, and it's kind of obvious to me that it's because a lot of the times your shots won't hit where you want to, so that ability is literally kind of in the beginning just oh, here's some extra aim assist for you. It's literally a slow motion kind of, if you play GTA you know what I'm talking about, a slow motion ability to let you kind of take a shot or two in slow motion and ultimately help you out in certain times of need. Yeah, man, the game feels very satisfying in terms of when you're meleeing them and the animations feel good, but when you're using guns and stuff, which you're gonna be using that for a lot of the time in the game, it's obviously an open world survival game with the story, obviously, yeah, guns are a big part of it. It's mixed for me right now. It's not totally bad. I'm having fun with it. It's obviously very playable. It's I guess it leads to some oh shit moments when your shots aren't landing, but that's not a good thing, honestly. You want your shots to land, obviously. Yeah, the gunplay right now I'm kind of mixed on. It's not terrible. I thought it was going to be worse, honestly, going in. But yeah, it's nothing special in my opinion. It just feels very off. Ultimately, the game feels pretty well. The bike feels really well. That was probably another big thing. I feel a lot of games either get driving perfectly down, or it's always that weird input lag, or that weird it always feels a little bit off in certain games. The bike feels really good. It feels heavy. It feels nice. And ultimately, I feel you get a lot of control of it. I love the fuel system. I've seen a lot of complaints online talking about how a lot of people just don't like the fact that they always have to supply their vehicle with fuel and stuff. That to me is what I wanted Days Gone to be. I want this to be the whole immersion of being in this world and always being on the brink of death. I've had many moments where I've been on 12% of fuel right now, and I needed to find fuel fast, or else if you're caught out in the nighttime, you're probably not going to survive. That bike is literally, it's all you got pretty much to get from community to community. And yeah, if you don't have that bike running on some fuel, you're going to be in a deep world of trouble. And ultimately, I guess that brings me to the point of why I bought this game and why I'm really excited about the game and where it's at least satisfying me at like 100%. And that's definitely just like the survival nature. Like, I'm playing this game on hard, like the footage you're seeing right here right now. You're probably seeing me run out of a lot of fuel, having to use everything on me. It's because, frankly, I don't have a lot of stuff in the game. Yeah, it is on hard mode. I feel like hard mode is like the way I really want to play Days Gone, just because of the fact that that's why I'm buying the game. This is like the survival game that I've kind of wanted for it. And yeah, like just hard mode is ultimately like where I'm having a lot of fun with, because yeah, you get hit, like half your health's gone. So if you're running into like a group of freakers that are like maybe even more than 3 and they're near you, like yeah, it could be GG really quickly here if you don't know what you're doing. And just stamina and everything just plays a huge role. And yeah, ultimately, upgrades in this game are in the form of just these Nero little insertions that you make into Deacon. You find these at like Nero checkpoints around the map, and you can choose between your health, your stamina, and your focus ability, which the focus ability would just add to that whole timer for when you're able to use that ability in the combat of the game. Yeah, ultimately I feel like health and stamina are the most important, obviously, because, well, I guess stamina for me at least, that's where I've been mainly putting it into, because, yeah, if you're walking and you're out of stamina, that's ultimately where I found me in the most trouble. Because you can outrun the freakers when you have stamina, but you can't when you run out of it, and then that's when you lose the health. Days Gone story. So far, I'm honestly not really liking it that much. I've only had like a couple cutscenes with his wife. Again, I'm kind of doing like around the map. I'm not really doing all the story missions like right away. Not playing it like that. But I honestly really just don't care for the story too much. That's not where I'm finding the peak enjoyment of the game. The characters are cool. I like Boozer, I like Deacon, but everyone outside of that bubble so far, I just really don't care for. And like ultimately, when the game just has so many people ringing you in the ear when you're driving around Oregon, it's kind of annoying. I kind of want it to be that quiet, just Deacon by yourself, just figuring out how to survive and be able to focus around the world. Again, that might come out later when I beat the campaign or something and I'm still doing side stuff, but like it's just kind of annoying when like you finish off a call on your radio while you're driving through Oregon and then you get another call immediately, and just, yeah, it's just, people shut up. That's just what I'm always thinking when I'm playing. And yeah, it just kind of, it's annoying. When Deacon speaks, like in combat, like when you're like, I was like invading a freaker's nest. He just like talks really weird, which is just bizarre. Like he's talking in some kind of weird ASMR, like aggressive way. Like he's, hey, I'm gonna kill you all right now in your sleep. And it's just very, I feel like all the sound in this game is just always unpleasant.
Oh, goddamn freaks. What the hell are you doing in here? Huh?
When I hear them on the radio, it's just like, it's not usually a good thing. And just when Deacon speaks during that kind of, I guess, slice of the game when you're playing as him, it's just kind of come off as odd. I know what they're trying to do, because like, yeah, it's like the typical like Hearthstone survival, you know, the apocalypse made me this way, I'm ruthless, but it just comes off a little bit as creepy. Yeah, just, it's very weird. I feel like they could have done that a bit better. I will say the voicing and like the lines feel very realistic, I guess. Sony Bend did a really good job on that front, I could say, for sure. It's just the dialogue feels really realistic to what people would say today. And I guess in that biker culture as well. Although I've seen a couple cringy stuff online that is just kind of, I don't know. Hopefully the story gets better. I've heard from a couple people that I know that are playing the game right now, they say it gets better over time, so that's a good thing. But of course, right now, that's where I'm standing. I just really don't care for the story. Days Gone is an open world game. This isn't like a typical PlayStation exclusive where it's just like a linear kind of game. This is an open world game, and yeah, there are similarities to Far Cry. It's very much infestations are like kind of like the camps and stuff that you get in Far Cry, and then you cross them off the list. I can already see it when I like zoom in on certain parts of the map. Yeah, they always have like that kind of typical cross checklist thing. Again, I don't really mind that because just I know what I'm buying Days Gone for. It's kind of like this open world survivor game where I'm playing for the gameplay and surviving day to day. That's just kind of what I like from it. Yeah, ultimately this game is like, it's a good game. It's not great. It's not amazing. It's nothing like a masterpiece, obviously. It's just a good game, I'd say. Sony Bend did a good job. The world's good. The combat is fun. Just every day to day when I'm playing this game, I'm like engrossed in what I'm doing and constantly trying to figure out what I want to do next. It feels very realistic and it feels very fun to play. And I guess just everything in terms of the cons is just whenever I enter like a story part and it's like trying to guide me narrowly, it's just like, I like the open world stuff and just navigating on my own and doing that kind of side stuff. And ultimately just, I guess where it falls is just, us being spoiled by like what games are today, which is very just one shot and, you know, camera to camera. It feels very smooth. This feels like Sony Bend obviously doesn't have the experience of that. But they did a good job. It's like, it's close to it. It's not that bad. It's honestly really close to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on. Days Gone, man. It's an interesting game. I'm 4 to 5 hours in. I'm looking forward to playing more. It has its issues. It definitely has its issues. Like the first cutscene that I played, it literally had textures popping in. Nothing game breaking so far, of course. There's nothing really game breaking that I've heard is in this game. Just like audio cutting out and textures popping in and maybe falling through the world a couple times if you're unlucky. Yeah, it's gonna tide us over until we get the next game from Sony or the next game you want to play from a third party. It's an enjoyable time if you like the open world kind of game, or if you're like me and you like the survival, day-to-day action kind of stuff. And yeah, that's why I'm playing the game and I'm liking it so far. And Oregon is really beautiful, man. That's one thing I love about Days Gone is just Oregon is so beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to dive back in. So Days Gone, to me, it's a good game. I'm mixed, honestly. Like right now, there's a lot of gripes I have with it, but at the same time, the stuff it gets good is like the stuff I wanted Days Gone to be good for. So hoping the story gets better, hoping the characters get better, and hopefully the game overall is solid until the end. I've been online. Let me know what you guys think about Days Gone. Have you already picked it up? Are you guys gonna be picking it up? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.